Morning everyone, JB here with a review of Saturday's match between Burnley and Nottingham Forest, where the game finished all square in a 1-1 draw. Good game, and I think on balance of play, I think it's about right. No ranting today because I thought the game was a good game. I thought both teams really gave their all on Saturday, and I think both of them, either, it could have either gone one way or the other. Burnley could have won it at the end. Forest could have won it at the end. Both teams had chances, but I think when you look back at the game as a whole, I thought a point was just about right over the balance of the play, but just about right. As I said, either team could have nicked it towards the end, but it probably would have been harsh on the other team perhaps. But don't be disillusioned by Forest now they're under new management, because as bad as it was Nuno getting sacked, they still look a dangerous team under Ange Postecoglou. So in essence it's a great point game, but in other areas we could have been a bit more braver and gone for the win, considering that the next two fixtures are against away at Aston Villa and next week away at Manchester City. You know what I mean? That's not forgiving. We should win the game against Cardiff tomorrow night in the Carabao. We should win it, but cup football dictates otherwise, as we all know. But I'm still convinced, even though we didn't win on Saturday, I'm still convinced that we can get points in this division. You look at our performances now in the season compared to 2 years ago when Vincent Kompany was the manager, and you think actually we're in games, we're fighting for every point going. I mean, we went to Old Trafford and should have got a draw if it wasn't for a couple of pat refereeing decisions. And then you look at the game last week between us and Liverpool, when if Hannibal doesn't handball that, we get a point out of that. So there's plenty of positives to take out of this first 3 or 4 games, and considering that we've had one of the toughest starts to a fixture list on record, I mean, you can't really judge it until we start playing teams around us, really. But I thought it was a good performance. After about 15 minutes, I thought we played really well. I mean, first 15 minutes, Forest were all over us. So, you could tell right when the word go that they meant business. And then, inside a minute, they score a fantastic goal. Not such good defending. They win a corner on the near side. They're attacking the McElroy in the first half, Forest. They get a corner. The corner comes in. I think it's Elliot Anderson that plays it in. Quality ball in, but we'll win the header, but it's not very good. It's not good enough, really. And then the ball comes back to Nico Williams, and he just hits it. He gives it an almighty hammer from just outside the penalty area. And credit to Dubravka, despite the fact that it's gone in, he's manfully tried to stop it, but the power of the shot just beats him. And from the goalkeeper's perspective, you can't legislate, but the defensive side, should we have gone out to, when we headed the ball away, should we have gone out to try and charge it down quicker? Possibly yes, but as bad as we were on defending that corner and allowing Nico Williams to strike the ball, you can't take away that absolute venom of the shot. It was a good goal from their point of view. As I said, bad defending, but then again, it was a fantastic goal, and I don't think any goalkeeper in the world could have saved that shot. So kudos to him. Kudos to Nico Williams. It was a great strike. No problem with that. And then all of a sudden we start playing a bit, and it took us about 15 minutes to go into the match. I mean, that goal set us back a bit in terms of morale. But then I don't know what Scott Parker said on the touchline, but we started. After 20 minutes we started playing like men possessed. We had a good spell in the game, and then we got level. Ball gets played in, Jaden Anthony sort of turns on a sixpence and puts the ball in, and poor old Zinchenko, the lad, I've got to give him a bit of praise. I'm not going to criticise him, because he's tried gamely at the last second to stop the ball, but unfortunately the spin on the ball takes it over his legs. Goals in the net, but it's a scrappy goal from out. It was a scrappy goal from a neutral point of view, but we'll take him. When you're newly promoted, you take any goal that comes, don't you? So yeah, So I was happy and positive. I'm happy and pleased that we played football and we tried to play the right way. Certainly from that particular point of view, we fought back well, and you know, I thought as the first half went on, I thought we were the more likely scorers than the next goal. I thought it was even Steven. I thought the first part of the first half was Forest's. I thought the second half of the first half was ours, and we had a free kick right on the edge of the area at the end of the first half. And this guy we've got from Lazio, what a signing he could prove to be. If that goes in, it's celebration time. Last kick of the first half. It's like 20 yards out, just to the right of the D. We're attacking the cricket field, and he struck this. I think it was left-footed, and it's bing right back off the crossbar. He was so unlucky. But you know, it's one of those. If it goes in, it's a great finish. If it hits the bar or the post and drops back out, you're unlucky. It was a great strike. Sells was getting nowhere near. There was a couple of occasions where Sells was a bit clumsy on the corners that we put in, and we just didn't have the wherewithal to go in there for the follow-ups or the second balls or whatever. We were a bit slow on the uptake, I thought, today, on Saturday, I actually thought. But having said that though, we get in there 1-1, so we're showing a bit of spunk, a bit of fighting spirit, if you like. And so we get to half time, so it's 1-1. Second half, it was a funny second half. That they had chances, we had chances. Chris Wood had, I think, a one-on-one where he missed. Normally he put them in 9 times out of 10, because he's such an accurate striker when it comes to Premier League. I mean, you don't get 20 goals in the Premiership last season for nothing. He's such a very, very good striker and deadly accurate, as Burnley fans know only too well. Well, we had him for about 3 or 4 years, didn't we? You give him half an inch and he'll take a mile, would he? And he'll finish. But having said all that though, I mean, we had chances to win it as well. Sells made a great couple of saves. Dubravka, I thought, played really well again. You know, the more I see that Martin Dubravka now, I can see why Newcastle fans rated him very highly now, and we're sad to see him go to us, because he is such a really, really good goalkeeper. Sub the age, forget about the age and everything now, because Martin Dubravka's proved in his first 4 or 5 games for us that he's more than an adequate replacement for James Trafford, who we're kicking himself now that he's not gone to Newcastle. But he would have been probably shooing number 1 there. You know, he'll be kicking himself that Donnarumma's gone to Manchester City. Having said that, Donnarumma made a mistake yesterday, so maybe it swings and roundabouts. But seeing what I've seen now, I think for £2 million, I think Dubravka is probably the bargain of all time in terms of goalkeeper, because look at the quality we've got for that money. That is a bargain. That's one of the bargains of all time. But he kept us in the game, he kept us at 1-1, and I think, as I said, it was a funny game, it was end to end, it was a good game. Why was it second last on Match of the Day, I'll never know. Because I watched the whole 90 minutes and I thought it was a really good attacking end to end game. I thought Forest played well, I thought we played, after 20 minutes we started to play well. You know, it was end to end, it was good. It was some good, you know, it's what you want to see from a game of football, both teams trying to go for it. To be fair, towards the end, Forest went for it more than what we did. So Forest fans might try and lay claim that we should have had all 3 points. But I think on the balance of the statistics and one thing and another, although some Forest fans might think different, I felt the point was just about right. And I thought a point well earned by the Clarets, because to come back from such a early massive big blow like we did in the first minute with that rocket shot from Nico Williams, I thought showed very good character. I thought we showed some fight, and every performance I'm watching now, yes, we haven't won since Sunderland, but you look at our fixture list that we've had, and it's been a stinking start to the season when you look closely at our fixture list, and to get even, you know, if we'd have gone in there, we could have had 6 points on the board. You know, that's the funny thing, we could have had 6 or 7 points on the board by now, you know, if VAR decisions had gone there. But never mind about the refereeing and all that jazz. You know, I'm sick and tired of going on about VAR. But the other refreshing thing to see about Saturday's game is that the referee didn't make too many bad decisions. Neither did VAR have to interfere in a lot of things, which was refreshing to see. It was like a proper game of football, all seen too rarely in Premier League terms. So, as disappointed as I am we didn't win, I'm still happy we got a point. Forest aren't no fly-by-nights. Don't be fooled by the change of manager. I mean, Nuno's sacking was a disgrace, but under Ange Postecoglou, they're just as good as and dangerous a side, you know. So don't be fooled by Nottingham Forest this season, guys, because on Saturday they did look mighty dangerous on the break. So so any opposition fans that are facing Forest, don't take this, you know, don't take it as gospel that they drew 1-1, because they weren't good enough. They were brilliant at certain points on Saturday. Don't have any fears about that. Forest are a team that are going to stay in the Premier League for a long time to come, and I think they'll do well in Europe as well. As for us, first 20 minutes I said we were goddamn awful. You know, we weren't alert enough to second balls from defensive set plays and attacking set plays. But with them again, we showed fighting, we showed guts, we showed desire. Sweat on the shirt, like Sean Dyche used to say. So in essence, disappointed we dropped 2, but happy in a way that we've got 1, and that's how I view Saturday's match.